Isla Emerson had always approached her career at Sterling and Thorne, a prestigious architectural firm, with an almost childlike optimism. She believed in meritocracy, in the quiet dignity of hard work, and in the unspoken camaraderie of a shared passion for design. Her portfolio, meticulously crafted over years of late nights and early mornings, was a testament to her dedication. The latest project, the Veridian Complex, was her magnum opus, a sprawling, innovative eco-community poised to redefine urban living. She poured her soul into it, every detail, every sustainable element, every structural nuance, a reflection of her unwavering commitment. Her immediate supervisor, Jasper Thorne, the firm's principal, had been a mentor, a guiding hand, his praise a constant source of affirmation. He'd often said, "Isla, you have an eye for the future, a mind for the practical. The Veridian is your legacy." Those words, once a comforting balm, would soon echo with a bitter irony. Her closest colleague, Declan West, a charming but undeniably ambitious architect, was her sounding board, her late-night coffee companion, and the recipient of her every nascent idea, her every anxious doubt about the project's daunting scale. She trusted him implicitly, perhaps more than she should have, sharing her proprietary calculations, her unique software integrations for passive solar gain, even the early, unpatented sketches of the modular housing units. It was a trust born of shared deadlines, of mutual respect, or so she thought. The initial signs were subtle, almost imperceptible. A dismissive tone from Jasper during a team meeting when she presented a new energy-saving material, a material she had researched exhaustively and discussed with Declan at length. He'd brushed it aside, stating, "We'll stick to the proven methods, Isla. No need to reinvent the wheel just yet." Yet, a week later, she overheard Declan discussing the very same material with a client, presenting it as his own discovery, a brilliant innovation he'd stumbled upon. A faint chill, like a tendril of frost, began to snake its way through her optimism. She dismissed it as a misunderstanding, an oversight. Declan was under pressure too, she reasoned. Perhaps he'd simply forgotten the source. But the instances began to accumulate. Her meticulously organized digital files, once solely accessible to her and Jasper, now showed timestamps of Declan's unauthorized access, not just viewing, but editing. Small, almost imperceptible changes at first, a tweak here, a rephrasing there, on documents pertaining to the Veridian. She confronted him, her voice trembling slightly. "Declan, I noticed some changes to the Veridian specs. Did you make them?" He smiled, a disarming, easy smile that had always put her at ease. "Oh, Isla, yes. Just some minor formatting adjustments. You know how particular Jasper is about presentation. Didn't want him breathing down your neck. Just trying to help." The explanation seemed plausible enough, wrapped in the guise of collegial support. Yet, the unease persisted, a dull throb behind her temples. She started to document, almost subconsciously at first, then with deliberate intent. Screenshots of file histories, detailed logs of her design iterations, timestamps of conversations. It felt clandestine, almost paranoid, but a growing instinct, cold and sharp, told her it was necessary. The pressure mounted from the firm to finalize the Veridian proposal. Jasper, once so encouraging, became increasingly demanding, his critiques laced with a new edge of impatience. "Isla, are you experiencing some difficulties? The pace seems to be slowing. This project is paramount." He was subtly undermining her confidence, making her second-guess her every decision, even as she worked tirelessly, often until the early hours of the morning, fueled by strong coffee and a gnawing anxiety. The lines of fatigue etched themselves deeper around her eyes, and sleep became a fleeting luxury. She'd lie awake, staring at the ceiling, replaying conversations, analyzing every glance, every inflection. The betrayal, still an unconfirmed suspicion, was already stealing her peace. The Veridian, once her pride, was becoming a source of escalating torment, a gilded cage built of her own ambition and the perfidy of those she trusted. The initial warmth of the firm had begun to feel like a carefully constructed illusion, and Isla, once so bright-eyed and optimistic, found herself navigating a labyrinth of suspicion and growing fear. Her belief in the inherent goodness of people, especially within the professional sphere, was slowly, painfully, eroding. She clung to the hope that it was all a misunderstanding, a series of unfortunate coincidences, but her gut, a reliable compass in her design work, was screaming otherwise. The subtle shifts in Jasper's demeanor, the almost imperceptible changes in Declan's casual conversations, they weren't random. They were pieces of a puzzle, and the picture they were forming was deeply unsettling. The air in the office, once charged with creative energy, now felt thick with an unspoken tension, an undercurrent of something insidious. Isla continued her meticulous documentation, each screenshot, each timestamped note a small act of defiance against the rising tide of doubt. She felt isolated, a solitary figure against an encroaching shadow, and the weight of that isolation was beginning to press down on her, making it harder to breathe. She found herself questioning her own sanity, wondering if she was fabricating a narrative out of exhaustion and stress. But then another incident would occur, another piece of evidence, undeniable and chilling, that would snap her back to the grim reality. The Veridian, once a beacon of her aspirations, was slowly transforming into an agonizing crucible, and Isla knew, with a certainty that chilled her to the bone, that she was standing at the precipice of a profound betrayal. The cracks in Isla's carefully constructed professional world began to widen, allowing glimpses into a sinister undercurrent she had stubbornly refused to acknowledge. The microaggressions escalated into outright psychological warfare. Jasper Thorne, once her champion, now treated her with a dismissive condescension, subtly undermining her authority in team meetings, interrupting her presentations with thinly veiled critiques that bordered on insults. "Isla, are you sure about these calculations? They seem optimistic," he'd remark, his gaze sweeping across the room, inviting others to share his skepticism. Colleagues who once sought her advice now averted their eyes, their silence a chilling testament to the shifting power dynamics. The vibrant collaborative spirit that had defined Sterling and Thorne, at least in her mind, was dissolving into an atmosphere of hushed whispers and guarded glances. Isla felt the constant pressure, a suffocating weight that pressed down on her chest, stealing her breath. Sleep, already a rare commodity, became an impossible dream. Her mind raced, a hamster on a relentless wheel, replaying every interaction, searching for clues, for an explanation for this sudden, inexplicable shift in treatment. She began to experience the physical manifestations of chronic stress, persistent headaches that throbbed behind her eyes, a constant knot in her stomach, and a pervasive sense of dread that clung to her like a shroud. Her once vibrant creativity felt stifled, replaced by a desperate need to protect her intellectual property. The design software, her trusted companion, now felt like a tool of her tormentors, its every function a potential vulnerability. She meticulously password-protected every file, every folder, adding layers of security she never thought necessary, a desperate attempt to safeguard her work from further intrusion. Yet, the sense of violation persisted. She knew, deep down, that her intellectual property was being pilfered, her ideas repackaged and presented as someone else's. Declan West, her erstwhile confidant, became the most insidious agent of her torment. His charm, once so endearing, now felt like a greasy film, a manipulative facade. He would offer help, then subtly sabotage her efforts, delaying crucial deliveries of revised plans, accidentally deleting important client feedback from shared drives. His casual inquiries about her progress, once a sign of friendly interest, now felt like probes, designed to extract information he could then twist to his advantage. She caught him several times hovering near her workstation, his eyes darting to her screen, then quickly looking away when she glanced up. The realization dawned on her, a cold, hard truth: Declan was not just an unwitting participant, he was an active accomplice, a willing tool in Jasper's scheme. The betrayal cut deeper because it came from someone she had considered a friend, someone she had confided in, someone who had seen her at her most vulnerable. It wasn't just professional theft, it was a personal affront, a violation of trust that scarred her deeply. She remembered countless late-night conversations, sharing anxieties about project deadlines, dreams of future architectural marvels. He had listened, he had nodded, he had offered seemingly supportive words. All lies, she now understood, carefully crafted deceptions to extract her knowledge. The thought sickened her. She started carrying a small voice recorder, an old, almost obsolete device, to team meetings and one-on-one sessions, hoping to capture proof of the insidious gaslighting and the appropriation of her ideas. It felt like a desperate measure, a descent into a world of espionage she never imagined herself inhabiting, but the stakes were too high. The Veridian was her life's work, and she would not let it be stolen from her. The sense of isolation grew, a chilling realization that she was entirely on her own in this battle. The other architects, intimidated by Jasper's increasingly aggressive demeanor, remained silent, their eyes avoiding hers, their expressions a mixture of fear and disinterest. She was a pariah, the target of an unspoken campaign to discredit and sideline her. The anxiety tightened its grip, making it difficult to focus, to even string a coherent thought together. She felt like a trapped animal, cornered and increasingly desperate. But amidst the despair, a flicker of defiance began to ignite. This wasn't just about the Veridian anymore. It was about her integrity, her reputation, her very sense of self. The naive belief in the system had crumbled, replaced by a steely resolve. She would fight, even if it meant fighting alone. The emotional toll was immense, but it was also forging a new strength within her, a resilient core that refused to break. The insomnia became her reluctant ally, providing more hours to strategize, to document, to build her case brick by painful brick. She was no longer just a designer, she was a detective, an archivist, and, most importantly, a survivor in the making. The path ahead was dark and uncertain, but she would walk it, armed with a growing reservoir of evidence and a burning desire for justice. The psychological pressure escalated, manifesting not just in sleepless nights but in a pervasive sense of unreality that blurred the edges of her days. Isla felt like she was trapped in a meticulously orchestrated play, where every conversation was a trap, every smile a pretense. The constant invalidation of her ideas, the subtle sabotaging of her work, and the increasingly overt appropriation of her intellectual property by Jasper and Declan were chipping away at her sense of self-worth. She'd present a detailed architectural plan, complete with innovative material specifications and energy efficiency calculations, only for Jasper to dismiss it with a wave of his hand, saying, "We've already covered that, Isla. Declan's approach is far more streamlined." And then, days later, Declan would present a slightly modified version of her original concept, taking full credit, while Jasper would nod approvingly. It was a cruel dance, and Isla was the unwilling marionette. The anxiety manifested physically now, a constant tremor in her hands, a rapid, shallow breath that never quite filled her lungs. She started to lose weight, her appetite vanishing under the weight of the stress. Her once vibrant eyes were now shadowed, reflecting the exhaustion and the deep-seated fear that had taken root within her. The insidious nature of their campaign left her feeling disoriented. Was she truly losing her mind? As Jasper subtly implied with his pointed questions about her focus and attention to detail? Or was this a deliberate, calculated attempt to drive her out, to seize her magnum opus, the Veridian Complex, for themselves? She knew it was the latter, intellectually, but the emotional toll was immense, constantly battling the self-doubt they expertly sowed. Her initial strategy of quiet documentation became an obsessive pursuit. Every interaction, every email, every shared document was meticulously scrutinized. She bought an external hard drive, encrypted and hidden, and began backing up everything, every version of the Veridian plans, every email exchange, every meeting agenda, even mundane internal memos that might, in some tangential way, shed light on their machinations. She recorded phone calls, using an app on her phone, and discreetly placed the old voice recorder on her desk during meetings, hoping to capture incriminating statements. The risk was immense, but the alternative, losing everything she had worked for, was unbearable. The nights were the worst. The darkness offered no respite, only amplified the relentless churn of her thoughts. She'd lie awake, tracing patterns on the ceiling with her eyes, constructing elaborate scenarios of confrontation, of vindication. Sometimes, a wave of despair would wash over her, a crushing realization of the power imbalance. They were the established figures, the ones with the connections and the reputation. She was just one architect, increasingly isolated and discredited. But then, a flicker of defiance would ignite, a fierce resolve that hardened her gaze. She wasn't going to let them win. Not after everything she had poured into this project, not after the years of sacrifice. She started seeking legal advice, cautiously at first, arranging an anonymous consultation with a lawyer specializing in intellectual property theft. The initial conversation was sobering. Proving such a case, especially within a corporate environment, was notoriously difficult. It required irrefutable evidence, a clear paper trail, and often, a willingness to endure a prolonged, emotionally draining legal battle. But the lawyer also confirmed her deepest fear. What was happening to her was a textbook case of corporate bullying and intellectual property appropriation. It wasn't in her head. This validation, however grim, was a crucial turning point. It shifted her perspective from self-doubt to strategic thinking. Her focus sharpened. She wasn't just collecting evidence for her own sanity, she was building a legal case. The weight of the world still pressed down on her, but now she had a direction, a purpose beyond mere survival. She began to observe other supporting characters within the firm more closely. Lucas Whitman, a quiet, diligent junior architect, seemed uncomfortable during meetings where Isla's contributions were sidelined. His eyes would sometimes meet hers, fleetingly, filled with a mixture of sympathy and fear. And then there was Mason Carlisle, a senior project manager, a man known for his shrewdness and his unwavering loyalty to Jasper. Mason seemed to be the enforcer, the one who carried out Jasper's subtle directives to isolate Isla, ensuring no one offered her genuine support. The realization that Mason was an active participant in her professional demise, despite their seemingly cordial past, stung deeply. Another betrayal, another wound inflicted. The game was becoming clearer, the players defined. Isla knew she had to move carefully, strategically. She was building her arsenal, piece by painstaking piece, preparing for a battle she hadn't asked for, but one she was now determined to win. The anxiety was still a constant companion, but it was now tempered by a cold, calculating resolve. She would expose them. She would reclaim what was hers. The relentless pressure and pervasive sense of betrayal culminated in a turning point for Isla. The constant gaslighting from Jasper, the insidious machinations of Declan, and the silent complicity of others like Mason Carlisle had pushed her to the brink of emotional and physical collapse. But instead of breaking, something within her hardened. The self-doubt, once a debilitating force, was replaced by an icy clarity. She wasn't imagining things, she was being systematically undermined and robbed. This realization, stark and unyielding, fueled her resolve. She transitioned from simply documenting to actively strategizing. She understood that a direct confrontation without irrefutable evidence would only backfire, allowing them to further discredit her. Her every move became calculated, every interaction a chess move in a high-stakes game. She began to strategically leak certain, non-critical pieces of information to her external legal counsel, ensuring they had an evolving understanding of the firm's internal dynamics and the escalating intellectual property theft. The lawyer, a shrewd and experienced woman named Sasha Petrov, became her silent ally, her clandestine sounding board. Sasha advised her on the crucial elements needed to build an airtight case, emphasizing the importance of a clear chain of evidence and undeniable proof of proprietary information being misappropriated. This guidance transformed Isla's chaotic documentation into a structured, compelling narrative. She meticulously cross-referenced every design iteration with corresponding email timestamps and meeting minutes, creating a detailed chronology of her intellectual contributions to the Veridian Complex. She even went so far as to embed unique, imperceptible digital watermarks within certain key design elements, a silent signature that would betray any unauthorized replication. It was a risky move, but one she felt compelled to make. Isla also began to discreetly reach out to a few trusted contacts outside the firm, former professors, architectural colleagues from other cities, seeking their advice, framing her queries hypothetically, but gleaning valuable insights into industry standards for intellectual property protection and the legal avenues available. This external validation, coupled with Sasha's expertise, solidified her confidence. The constant anxiety began to morph into a quiet determination. She started to perform small acts of psychological warfare of her own, subtle enough not to be detected, but designed to sow seeds of unease in her adversaries. She would casually mention new patent laws during team meetings, observing Jasper and Declan's fleeting expressions of discomfort. She'd leave a legal journal open on her desk, prominently displaying an article on corporate espionage, knowing Declan frequently walked past her cubicle. These were minor skirmishes, but they gave her a sense of agency, a small measure of control in a situation that had felt utterly overwhelming. The most significant turning point came during a major client presentation for the Veridian Complex. Jasper, as expected, was presenting the project as his own vision, with Declan confidently elaborating on the innovative sustainable features Isla had conceptualized and meticulously designed. Isla, seated quietly among the team, felt a surge of cold fury. But instead of reacting impulsively, she remained outwardly composed, her expression neutral. During the Q&A session, a discerning client, Ronan Ellis, an environmental activist and investor known for his sharp intellect, posed a highly specific technical question about the Veridian's unique passive heating system. It was a detail so intricate, so nuanced, that only someone who had truly designed it from the ground up would know the precise answer. Jasper fumbled, offering a vague, generic response. Declan, usually quick-witted, hesitated, his confident facade momentarily cracking. Isla, seeing her opening, calmly interjected, "If I may, Mr. Ellis, the efficiency curve for that particular system is optimized by integrating a variable angle solar tracking algorithm into the building management system, which adjusts the facade louvers in real time based on incident solar radiation and ambient temperature. This allows for a 17% increase in thermal gain during peak winter months compared to a fixed-angle system, a detail I elaborated on in section 3.4.2 of the initial proposal." Her voice was clear, confident, and utterly devoid of emotion. She quoted the exact section number. The precise percentage, the technical specificity irrefutable. A hush fell over the room. Ronan Ellis looked from Isla to Jasper, a knowing glint in his eyes. Jasper's face, usually composed, flushed a deep crimson. Declan looked like a deer caught in headlights. The air crackled with unspoken tension. It was a subtle but devastating blow, a public exposure of their intellectual fraud, delivered with surgical precision. The turning point had arrived. The seeds of doubt had been planted not just in her own mind, but now, crucially, in the minds of key clients. Isla knew this was just the beginning, but she felt a surge of power, a sense of vindication that coursed through her veins. The long nights, the agonizing self-doubt, the emotional torment, it was all leading to this. She had taken her first strategic step towards reclaiming her justice, and the taste of it was bittersweet, yet undeniably empowering. The battle was far from over, but the tide had undeniably turned. The aftermath of the client meeting was a palpable shift in the office atmosphere. The hushed whispers intensified, now carrying a distinct undercurrent of suspicion directed not at Isla, but at Jasper and Declan. Ronan Ellis, a highly influential figure in the eco-development sector, had subtly, yet unequivocally, indicated his recognition of Isla's expertise over Jasper's vague generalities. The very next day, a brief but pointed email landed in Jasper's inbox from Ellis, following up on our discussion regarding the Veridian Complex. "We look forward to seeing the detailed technical specifications, particularly concerning the thermal gain optimizations discussed by Ms. Emerson. Her insights were most impressive." The email was forwarded, with a curt "Isla, handle this," from Jasper, but the message was clear. Isla's strategic intervention had not gone unnoticed. Jasper, his composure visibly rattled, began to treat her with a new, grudging respect, a desperate attempt to salvage his damaged credibility. His criticisms became less direct, more veiled, a clear sign that he felt vulnerable. Declan, on the other hand, became overtly hostile, his charm replaced by a simmering resentment. He avoided eye contact, snapped at her during team discussions, and once, she overheard him muttering, "Snooping little, knows too much." This open animosity, far from intimidating her, actually strengthened her resolve. It was proof that her strategy was working, that she was making them uncomfortable, exposing their deceit. Isla, however, remained outwardly impassive, a serene mask concealing the maelstrom of emotions within. She knew this was a delicate phase. She had exposed them, but not yet fully defeated them. The firm was still their domain, and they still wielded significant power. Her immediate focus became gathering more concrete evidence of their ongoing intellectual property infringement. She began to subtly bait Declan, introducing new, slightly altered versions of her designs into shared folders, leaving errors that only someone intimately familiar with her original work would correct. She then monitored who accessed and modified those files, meticulously documenting the digital fingerprints. Her external lawyer, Sasha Petrov, meticulously guided her through the legal nuances, emphasizing the importance of securing irrefutable proof that her work was not merely inspired by but actively plagiarized. Sasha suggested employing a digital forensics expert, discreetly, to analyze her hard drive and the firm's servers for evidence of unauthorized access and data manipulation. This was a costly but necessary step, a professional validation that would stand up in court. Isla felt a surge of renewed purpose. The physical symptoms of stress, though still present, were now overshadowed by the adrenaline of the fight. The chronic headaches were dulled by her focus, the knot in her stomach replaced by a sense of impending victory. She spent countless hours with Sasha, poring over legal precedents, understanding the intricate dance of intellectual property law. Sasha encouraged her to write a detailed, chronological account of every incident, every perceived microaggression, every instance of intellectual theft, no matter how small. This chronicle of betrayal became a therapeutic outlet, transforming her pain into a weapon, a testament to her resilience. During this period, Lucas Whitman, the junior architect who had often seemed sympathetic, made a cautious approach. "Isla," he mumbled, fidgeting with his pen, I've seen some things. The way they treat you, it's not right. The Veridian, it's clearly your work." His voice was low, laced with fear, but the acknowledgement was a lifeline in her isolated battle. He offered to anonymously provide her with internal communications, seemingly innocuous emails and chat logs that, when pieced together, could reveal the extent of Jasper and Declan's collusion. It was a risky offer for Lucas, one that could jeopardize his own career, but his quiet act of solidarity filled Isla with a fragile hope. She cautiously accepted, emphasizing the need for absolute discretion. This was the first concrete sign of an ally within the firm, a crack in the wall of silence that had surrounded her. It was a testament to her unwavering integrity that even in her darkest hour, she had managed to inspire loyalty. The battle was far from over, but Isla was no longer fighting alone. The path to justice was becoming clearer, illuminated by the growing pile of evidence and the unexpected, yet profound, support of a quiet ally. The confrontation was inevitable, and Isla was preparing, not just for a fight, but for a triumphant reclaiming of her stolen legacy. The internal battle within Sterling and Thorne intensified, morphing into a covert war waged with digital breadcrumbs and carefully placed whispers. Isla, now bolstered by Lucas Whitman's clandestine support, became even more meticulous in her evidence gathering. Lucas, risking his own burgeoning career, began subtly redirecting internal communications to her, particularly those related to the Veridian Complex. He'd accidentally CC her on emails discussing updates to her original designs, updates that were clearly just minor alterations to her groundbreaking work, repackaged as Declan's. He'd leave sensitive documents open on shared network drives, knowing Isla had access and could quickly capture screenshots or download copies before they were deleted or altered. It was a precarious dance, a delicate balance of trust and deception, but the shared understanding of injustice fueled their collaboration. Isla continued her feigned professional indifference, attending meetings, offering seemingly innocuous contributions, all while her mind raced, analyzing every nuance, every sidelong glance from Jasper and Declan. The stress remained a constant companion, a dull ache behind her eyes, but it was now laced with an invigorating sense of purpose. Her conversations with Sasha Petrov, her lawyer, became more frequent and strategic. Sasha, armed with the escalating evidence, began drafting a cease and desist letter, a document designed to deliver a powerful legal shockwave. She also began preparing the groundwork for a potential lawsuit, meticulously outlining the various claims of intellectual property infringement, corporate fraud, and emotional distress. The idea of public exposure, of bringing the firm's dirty laundry into the light, was a daunting one, but Isla knew it might be necessary to achieve true justice. The firm, a bastion of quiet prestige, valued its reputation above all else. A public scandal could be their ultimate undoing. The climax approached with the announcement of the final Veridian Complex presentation to the entire board of directors, a high-stakes event that would determine the project's future and, implicitly, Isla's. Jasper was unusually agitated, his attempts to control the narrative becoming increasingly desperate. He assigned Isla to minor tasks, attempting to sideline her entirely from the core presentation, clearly hoping to limit her opportunities to expose them again. But Isla saw through his thinly veiled attempts. This was her chance, her moment of reckoning. She secretly prepared her own, independent presentation. It wasn't a direct counter-presentation to Jasper's, but a detailed technical deep dive into the Veridian's most innovative features. Complete with her original design schematics and the digital watermarks she had embedded. She practiced tirelessly, honing her arguments, anticipating every possible rebuttal, every attempt to discredit her. She knew she had to be unflappable, her facts irrefutable. She had to project an aura of calm authority, even as her heart hammered against her ribs. The night before the board presentation, Isla found herself unable to sleep, but this time, the insomnia wasn't born of anxiety alone. It was a nervous energy, a focused anticipation of the battle ahead. She reviewed her evidence one last time, a thick binder filled with documented proof, a testament to her tenacity. She thought of Liam Thatcher, a former colleague who had been similarly pushed out of a previous firm under mysterious circumstances. He had always been a quiet supporter of hers, though he had since moved to another city and lost touch. She wondered if he, too, had faced similar corporate machinations. The thought solidified her resolve. She wouldn't let her story end like his, swallowed by injustice. The morning of the presentation arrived with a gray, overcast sky, mirroring the tension in the air. The boardroom was a polished expanse of mahogany and glass, the atmosphere thick with anticipation. Jasper began his presentation, a smooth, confident delivery, showcasing his vision for the Veridian. Declan elaborated, his voice equally assured, on the features he had stolen. Isla sat quietly, a small, knowing smile playing on her lips, her evidence binder hidden discreetly in her bag. She waited for her moment, a predator in plain sight. As Jasper concluded, and the customary Q&A session began, Isla raised her hand, her voice calm and clear. Mr. Thorne, with all due respect, I believe there are some critical technical nuances regarding the Veridian's core innovative features that the board might find beneficial to understand in greater detail, particularly concerning the embedded structural harmonics and the adaptive facade system. I have prepared a brief supplementary presentation, which includes the original design iterations and the proprietary algorithms developed for these unique elements. A ripple went through the room. Jasper's face went ashen, his jaw clenching. Declan shifted uncomfortably in his seat. The board members, intrigued by the unexpected intervention, exchanged glances. This was it. The moment of truth. Isla stood, walked to the projector, and began to display her irrefutable proof, slide by damning slide, revealing the true architect behind the Veridian Complex and exposing the carefully constructed web of deceit. The resolution, though not yet fully realized, was finally within her grasp. The restoration of justice had begun. The atmosphere in the boardroom became electric, crackling with an undeniable tension as Isla took control of the projector. Her voice, clear and unwavering, filled the stunned silence. As you can see here, she began, her hand gesturing to a complex schematic on the screen. This is the original architectural diagram for the Veridian Complex's modular housing units, integrating a patented, self-regulating thermal envelope. Note the unique interlocking mechanism and the specific material composition, both of which I developed and first presented to Mr. Thorne on March 12 of last year. She then clicked to the next slide, revealing an email chain. Here is the email exchange with Mr. Thorne. detailing these innovations, followed by a series of internal review comments where these exact specifications were discussed and approved under my project ID. Jasper Thorne's face was a mask of disbelief and growing panic. Declan West, seated beside him, looked as though he wanted the floor to swallow him whole. Isla continued, each slide a meticulously crafted blow, each piece of evidence a nail in their coffin. She showed the digital watermarks embedded in the core design files, proving irrefutably that her work had been duplicated without attribution. She displayed timestamps of unauthorized access to her password-protected folders, highlighting the specific dates and times when her intellectual property had been accessed and modified by Jasper and Declan's user accounts. She even played a short, crystal-clear audio recording from a team meeting where Declan explicitly presented one of her unique algorithms as his recent breakthrough. The sound of his confident, yet clearly plagiarized, words reverberated through the silent room, a damning testament to his deceit. The board members, initially surprised, were now captivated, their expressions shifting from curiosity to shock, then to a chilling anger. Their reputation, their firm's very integrity, was being publicly unraveled before their eyes. Quentin Ward, the stern-faced chairman of the board, cleared his throat, his gaze fixed on Jasper. "Mr. Thorne, this is deeply concerning. Ms. Emerson, do you have more evidence to support these grave allegations?" Isla nodded, her eyes meeting his, resolute. "Yes, Mr. Ward. This binder contains a full chronological account of every incident, every correspondence, every design iteration, meticulously documented over the past several months. It also includes expert analysis from a digital forensics specialist who verified unauthorized data manipulation on the firm's servers, and a preliminary legal opinion regarding intellectual property infringement." She placed the thick binder on the table with a soft thud, its weight a physical manifestation of her protracted struggle. The sheer volume of evidence, presented with such calm precision, was overwhelming. Jasper, finally finding his voice, sputtered, "This is an outrage. A desperate attempt to discredit us. Ms. Emerson has clearly fabricated these ridiculous claims due to professional jealousy." His voice was high-pitched, laced with a desperation that only further exposed his guilt. Declan, regaining a sliver of composure, chimed in, "She's unstable, Mr. Ward. She's been under immense stress. This is clearly a breakdown." But their protests rang hollow against the irrefutable evidence Isla had presented. The board members, shrewd and experienced, could see through the transparent deflections. A hushed discussion erupted among the board members, their voices low but their anger palpable. Isla remained silent, allowing her evidence to speak for itself. She had meticulously built her case, brick by agonizing brick, and now, the structure of their deceit was crumbling before their very eyes. The resolution of justice was unfolding, not in a dramatic courtroom scene, but in the quiet, devastating precision of irrefutable truth. The chairman, after a brief huddle with other board members, turned back to Jasper and Declan, his expression grim. "Mr. Thorne, Mr. West, I believe we have seen enough. These allegations are not only grave, but they appear to be substantially supported by Ms. Emerson's presentation. We will be launching an immediate, independent investigation into these matters. Effective immediately, Mr. Thorne, your authority over the Veridian Complex project is suspended. Mr. West, you are also relieved of all project duties until the investigation is concluded." A collective gasp went through the room. Jasper looked as though he had been struck, his face now a sickly shade of white. Declan stared blankly, utterly defeated. The restoration of justice had begun with an immediate professional upheaval, a public dismantling of their power and reputation. Isla felt a surge of triumph, a powerful wave of vindication washing over her, erasing months of anxiety and despair. The battle was far from over, but the turning point was decisive. She had exposed them, and the system, however reluctantly, was beginning to correct itself. She had reclaimed her narrative, her integrity, and the first steps towards her stolen legacy. The fallout from the board meeting was swift and brutal for Jasper Thorne and Declan West. The firm, scrambling to control the damage and salvage its prestigious reputation, issued immediate suspensions for both men, pending a full internal investigation. The once whispered rumors of their malfeasance now erupted into a torrent of open speculation and condemnation within the office walls. The quiet discomfort that had once pervaded the atmosphere was replaced by a palpable sense of shock and a grudging admiration for Isla. Some junior architects, emboldened by Isla's courageous stand, began to subtly distance themselves from Jasper and Declan, their loyalty shifting towards the newly emerging truth. Lucas Whitman, her quiet ally, looked at her with a mix of awe and relief, a silent acknowledgement of her triumph. The internal investigation, conducted by an external, independent legal team brought in by the firm, was rigorous and uncompromising. Isla, with Sasha Petrov by her side, provided all her meticulously gathered evidence: the digital forensics reports, the detailed chronologies, the audio recordings, and the authenticated design files. The watermarks she had embedded in her designs proved to be particularly damning, an irrefutable signature of her intellectual property that Jasper and Declan had attempted to erase and rebrand. The digital forensics expert's report confirmed unauthorized access and systematic manipulation of her files, a clear pattern of intellectual theft. The firm's IT department, previously under Jasper's implicit control, was now cooperating fully, providing server logs and access histories that corroborated Isla's claims. The evidence was overwhelming, leaving no room for doubt or denial. The emotional tension, which had been a constant companion for months, began to dissipate, replaced by a profound sense of exhaustion, but also a quiet relief. Isla finally experienced a night of truly restorative sleep, the first in what felt like an eternity. The headaches lessened, her appetite slowly returned, and the constant knot in her stomach began to loosen. She felt a lightness she hadn't realized she had lost, a mental clarity that allowed her to breathe deeply again. The firm, facing undeniable evidence and the looming threat of a public lawsuit, acted decisively. Within weeks, Jasper Thorne and Declan West were formally terminated from Sterling & Thorne, their careers in the prestigious architectural world effectively ruined. The firm issued a carefully worded internal memo, citing serious breaches of professional conduct and ethical guidelines, though the true nature of their transgressions was widely understood. News of their downfall, fueled by industry gossip and a few discreet leaks, began to circulate within the architectural community, permanently staining their professional reputations. The restoration of justice wasn't just about their dismissal, it was about the public exposure of their unethical practices within their professional circles. Isla, however, did not revel in their downfall. Her focus remained on the Veridian Complex. With Jasper and Declan gone, the firm's leadership, eager to rebuild trust and mitigate further reputational damage, offered Isla full creative control over the project, along with a significant promotion and a substantial compensation package. They acknowledged her indispensable role, her vision, and her unwavering dedication to the Veridian. It was a powerful vindication, a testament to her resilience and the undeniable quality of her work. She negotiated, not just for herself, but for improved intellectual property protections for all architects within the firm, ensuring that no one else would suffer the same fate. She insisted on new, transparent protocols for project ownership and a clear, ethical framework for collaboration. The firm, desperate to move past the scandal, agreed to her terms, eager to demonstrate their commitment to a renewed ethical standard. The triumphant exit wasn't her leaving, but rather her reshaping the very environment that had tried to break her. The journey had been arduous, fraught with anxiety and betrayal, but it had also forged a new Isla. She was no longer the naive idealist who had first joined Sterling & Thorne. She was stronger, wiser, and more discerning. She understood the darker undercurrents of professional ambition, but she also knew the immense power of integrity and truth. The Veridian Complex, once a symbol of her torment, was now a symbol of her triumph. It was her legacy, secured not just through her talent, but through her courage in the face of immense adversity. The project moved forward under her renewed leadership, its innovative design now truly reflecting the ethical and sustainable principles she had always championed. The scars of betrayal remained, a quiet reminder of the battle she had fought, but they were now interwoven with the threads of her remarkable resilience and the sweet taste of hard-won justice. The story of Isla Emerson became a whispered legend within the firm, a cautionary tale for some, an inspiring beacon for others. She had not only survived, she had transformed. The restoration of justice for Isla Emerson was not merely an ending to a painful chapter, but a powerful catalyst for profound personal and professional transformation. With Jasper Thorne and Declan West's ignominious exit, the air within Sterling and Thorne cleared, almost literally. The stifling tension that had once pervaded the hallways dissipated, replaced by a renewed sense of purpose and, for many, a palpable relief. Isla, now a revered figure within the firm, took the reins of the Veridian Complex with a quiet authority that commanded respect. Her promotion to head of innovative design, a newly created position tailored to her unique talents, came with the authority to implement the very changes she had advocated for. She spearheaded a comprehensive review of the firm's intellectual property policies, collaborating closely with Sasha Petrov to draft robust new guidelines that prioritized transparency, clear ownership, and severe penalties for any breaches. She established a mentorship program for junior architects, emphasizing ethical conduct and fostering a culture of open communication, determined to prevent any future exploitation of emerging talent. Her intention was not to dwell on the past, but to build a future where creativity and integrity could truly flourish. The scars of betrayal, though present, no longer defined her. They served as constant, subtle reminders, shaping her discernment and fortifying her resolve, but they did not overshadow her renewed sense of purpose. She approached her work with a deeper appreciation for the collaborative spirit, recognizing that while individuals might betray, the collective pursuit of excellence could still thrive. The Veridian Complex, under her leadership, blossomed. Free from the insidious sabotage and the stifling influence of her former tormentors, Isla unleashed her full creative potential. She refined the designs, integrating even more cutting-edge sustainable technologies and community-centric features. The project, once a source of her anguish, now became a testament to her unwavering vision and her resilience. It gained significant industry attention, lauded not only for its innovative design but also for the ethical integrity of its development process. This public acclaim was, in itself, a powerful form of justice, highlighting her true contributions and overshadowing the brief, dark period of attempted theft. Isla's personal relationships also began to heal and evolve. Her connection with Lucas Whitman deepened. He had proven to be a true ally, and their shared experience forged a bond of mutual respect and trust. They often discussed architectural philosophies, their conversations now unburdened by the fear of being overheard or manipulated. Lucas, inspired by Isla's courage, found his own voice within the firm, contributing more confidently and openly. He became her trusted confidant, a source of unwavering support, and a testament to the fact that genuine collaboration could exist even in competitive environments. She even found herself reconnecting with old friends she had distanced herself from during the height of her anxiety, explaining the ordeal she had faced. Their understanding and empathy were a comforting balm, reinforcing her sense of connection and belonging. The media, catching wind of the internal upheaval and the dramatic dismissal of two prominent architects, approached Isla for interviews. Initially hesitant, she carefully considered her response. With Sasha Petrov's guidance, she chose to speak, not to sensationalize, but to educate. She shared her story not as a victim, but as a survivor, emphasizing the importance of intellectual property protection and the courage required to stand up against corporate misconduct. Her candidness resonated with a wider audience, turning her personal ordeal into a public conversation about ethics in the creative industries. She became an unlikely advocate, a voice for those who might otherwise suffer in silence. The story's resolution wasn't about revenge, but about the profound reclamation of self. Isla Emerson had not just recovered her stolen project, she had recovered her peace of mind, her professional standing, and her belief in the possibility of justice. She had learned the painful lesson that trust must be earned and vigilance maintained, but she had also discovered her own immense strength, her capacity for strategic action, and the unwavering power of truth. The Veridian Complex, standing tall and proud, would forever be a monument to her vision and, more importantly, to her indomitable spirit. She had walked through the fire, and emerged, not unscathed, but undeniably stronger, and infinitely more capable of shaping her own destiny. Her legacy was now undeniably hers, built on the foundations of innovation, integrity, and the hard-won victory of justice. The ripple effects of Isla Emerson's triumph extended far beyond the confines of Sterling and Thorne, demonstrating that true justice often reverberates in unexpected ways. The new intellectual property policies she championed within the firm served as a blueprint for other architectural and design companies. Industry publications picked up on the story, albeit with discreet anonymity to protect the firm's remaining reputation, but the message was clear: intellectual theft would not be tolerated, and firms were increasingly vulnerable to exposure if they failed to protect their creators. Isla herself, once a quiet and unassuming figure, found herself invited to speak at industry conferences and universities, sharing her experiences and advocating for stronger ethical frameworks. She never named names, always focusing on the systemic issues and the importance of individual resilience. Her voice, once silenced, now carried weight, inspiring a new generation of architects to be both innovative and vigilant. She found a particular connection with young, aspiring designers, emphasizing the need for meticulous documentation and the courage to speak up. The Veridian Complex, finally nearing completion, became a beacon of architectural innovation and ethical practice. Its success silenced any lingering doubts about Isla's capabilities, proving that her vision, untainted by plagiarism, was indeed groundbreaking. The initial challenges and the eventual exposure of the theft inadvertently brought more attention to the project's unique features, turning what could have been a liability into an unexpected asset. It became a case study in both sustainable design and corporate ethics, a testament to Isla's unwavering commitment. The project earned numerous accolades, and Isla, as its lead architect, received widespread recognition, solidifying her reputation as a formidable talent in the field. This public affirmation was a crucial part of her healing process, a definitive reclaiming of her professional narrative. Her relationship with Sasha Petrov evolved from a professional partnership to a deep friendship. Sasha, impressed by Isla's courage and meticulousness, often remarked on how Isla's case would become a cornerstone in intellectual property law, an example of a successful challenge against powerful figures. They collaborated on articles and presentations, advocating for stronger legal protections for creatives, turning their shared ordeal into a force for positive change within the industry. Isla also nurtured her connection with Ronan Ellis, the discerning client who had inadvertently triggered the initial unraveling of Jasper and Declan's deceit. Ellis, deeply impressed by Isla's integrity and talent, became a vocal champion of her work, commissioning Sterling and Thorne for several new eco-friendly development projects, all under Isla's direct oversight. This ongoing collaboration not only bolstered the firm's recovery but also provided Isla with new opportunities to push the boundaries of sustainable architecture. The restoration of justice for Isla wasn't just about reclaiming her work, it was about reclaiming her power. She had transformed from a victim of circumstance into an agent of change. Her journey had been arduous, marked by profound betrayal and relentless pressure, but it had also been a crucible that forged an unshakable inner strength. She no longer carried the burden of anxiety and self-doubt. Instead, she walked with a quiet confidence, knowing she had faced her greatest fears and emerged victorious. The final, overarching theme of her story wasn't just resilience, but also the enduring power of truth. In a world often veiled by pretense and ambition, Isla's steadfast adherence to her principles, her meticulous documentation, and her courageous decision to expose the truth had ultimately prevailed. The Veridian Complex stood as a silent, soaring testament to her enduring vision, a monument to the integrity she had fiercely protected. Her story was a powerful reminder that while betrayal can inflict deep wounds, justice, however hard-won, can ultimately lead to profound restoration and a stronger, more authentic self. She had not merely survived the storm, she had learned to navigate its currents, becoming a beacon for others seeking to weather their own. Isla Emerson's story continued to unfold, transitioning from a dramatic climax to a period of sustained, impactful growth, both personally and professionally. The initial shockwaves from the Jasper and Declan scandal had settled, but the reverberations continued to shape Sterling and Thorne, and, more significantly, Isla's trajectory. She channeled her newfound influence into fostering a culture of genuine collaboration and transparency. Regular innovation forums were established, where every architect, regardless of seniority, was encouraged to present nascent ideas and receive constructive feedback without fear of appropriation. These forums became incubators for groundbreaking concepts, ensuring that creative contributions were recognized and properly attributed from their inception. Isla personally mentored a cohort of young architects, sharing not just design principles but also the critical importance of self-advocacy and intellectual property awareness. She taught them to document their processes meticulously, to communicate their ideas clearly, and to understand the legal safeguards available to them. Her own arduous experience had become an invaluable, if painful, lesson plan. The firm's reputation, initially tarnished by the scandal, began to experience a renaissance. The Veridian Complex, under Isla's visionary leadership, became a highly successful and critically acclaimed project, attracting international attention for its sustainable design and innovative urban planning. Its success not only brought financial prosperity to Sterling & Thorn but also helped to restore its ethical standing. The firm became known not just for its architectural prowess, but also for its commitment to protecting its creative talent, a direct result of Isla's unwavering advocacy. This transformation was a powerful testament to the fact that justice, when truly served, can lead to systemic reform. Personally, Isla found a deeper sense of peace and fulfillment. The chronic anxiety that had plagued her for months slowly receded, replaced by a quiet confidence. She re-engaged with hobbies she had abandoned during the height of her professional turmoil, finding solace in painting and exploring nature. Her relationship with Lucas Whitman continued to deepen, evolving into a quiet, supportive companionship. He admired her strength and integrity, and she, in turn, valued his steadfast loyalty and keen intellect. Their discussions often delved into the philosophical aspects of architecture, exploring how design could genuinely serve humanity and the environment, themes that had been central to Isla's vision for the Veridian. The betrayal by Jasper and Declan had taught her invaluable lessons about discernment. She became adept at reading people, at recognizing the subtle cues of insincerity or manipulation. This heightened intuition served her well, allowing her to build a stronger, more authentic network of professional and personal relationships. She formed alliances with other ethical leaders in the industry, creating a formidable force for positive change. The experience, while undeniably traumatic, had honed her into a more formidable and compassionate leader. She understood the fragility of trust and the importance of accountability. The constant fear of intellectual theft that had once haunted her was replaced by the knowledge that she possessed the tools and the courage to protect her work. She implemented a digital signature system within the firm's design software, ensuring that every contribution to a project was irrefutably timestamped and attributed to its original creator. This innovation further cemented the firm's commitment to intellectual property integrity. Isla also began to explore opportunities beyond the immediate confines of her firm. She considered accepting a visiting professorship at a renowned architecture school, seeing it as another avenue to impart her hard-won lessons to the next generation. The idea of shaping future architects, instilling in them not just technical skills but also a strong ethical compass, resonated deeply with her. The restoration of justice for Isla Emerson was not a singular event but an ongoing process of rebuilding and thriving. Her story became a powerful narrative of transformation, demonstrating that even in the face of profound betrayal, one can not only survive but also emerge stronger, more influential, and ultimately, more fulfilled. The shadow of the past lingered, a faint echo of the darkness she had overcome, but it no longer defined her. Instead, it served as a poignant reminder of the enduring power of integrity and the remarkable capacity of the human spirit to find triumph amidst adversity. She had not only secured her legacy, she had reshaped the very landscape of her profession, proving that justice could indeed pave the way for innovation and ethical growth. The enduring impact of Isla Emerson's ordeal and her subsequent triumph resonated deeply within the broader architectural and design community, transforming her into an unwitting but powerful advocate for ethical practices. Her presentations at industry conferences became highly anticipated events, where she shared practical strategies for intellectual property protection and emphasized the critical role of corporate accountability. She spoke with a calm authority, her words carrying the weight of first-hand experience, inspiring countless professionals to reevaluate their own firm's policies and to challenge unethical behavior. Her former professor, a respected figure in the academic world, invited her to co-author a textbook chapter on design ethics and intellectual property law, solidifying her expertise beyond practical application. This academic recognition further cemented her position as a thought leader, giving her a platform to influence future generations of architects at a foundational level. The Veridian Complex, having achieved monumental success, became a living, breathing testament to her vision. Its innovative features, originally threatened by appropriation, were now celebrated globally, winning numerous architectural awards and setting new benchmarks for sustainable urban development. Prospective clients sought out Sterling & Thorn specifically because of Isla's involvement, drawn not only to her talent but also to the firm's renewed commitment to ethical design under her influence. The firm, embracing its newfound reputation as a bastion of integrity, thrived, attracting top talent who valued an honest and supportive working environment. This success was a profound vindication, proving that ethical practices could indeed coexist with, and even drive, commercial prosperity. Isla found herself often reflecting on the journey, the agonizing period of doubt and despair now feeling distant, almost like a dream. The emotional toll had been immense, leaving subtle, permanent shifts within her. She was more guarded, more discerning in whom she trusted, but also more appreciative of genuine connections. Her bond with Sasha Petrov deepened into a familial one, forged in the fires of adversity. They often met for quiet dinners, discussing not just legal precedents but life, art, and the intricate dance of human nature. Sasha, who had initially seen Isla as just another client, now viewed her as a courageous friend and a powerful agent of change. Lucas Whitman, having gained confidence under Isla's mentorship, was quickly ascending the ranks within Sterling & Thorn. He often sought her advice, not just on design challenges, but on navigating the subtle complexities of office politics and ethical dilemmas. Their collaborative synergy was palpable, and they began to co-lead several new projects, blending Isla's visionary approach with Lucas's meticulous attention to detail. Their professional partnership became a model for ethical collaboration within the firm. The unexpected turn of events had forced Isla to confront her own vulnerabilities, but also to discover an immense reservoir of inner strength. She no longer sought external validation, her confidence stemmed from her own integrity and her ability to navigate adversity. The insomnia, once a symptom of her distress, now occasionally served as a quiet time for reflection, for conceptualizing new designs, for planning future initiatives. It was a stark reminder of the long nights, but now it was a choice, not a compulsion. The restoration of justice had not only rectified a wrong but had fundamentally reshaped Isla's identity. She was no longer just an architect, she was a survivor, an advocate, and a leader who had harnessed her painful experiences to create a more just and transparent professional world. Her journey underscored a crucial truth, that while betrayal can inflict deep wounds, the unwavering pursuit of justice, combined with unwavering integrity, can lead to a triumph that transcends personal vindication, creating a lasting legacy of positive change. Her story became a quiet legend, inspiring those who heard it to find their own strength in the face of adversity, and to always stand for what is right. The story of Isla Emerson became a quiet legend, not just within the walls of Sterling & Thorn, but across the entire design industry. It was a narrative whispered at conferences, referenced in academic papers, and shared amongst ambitious young architects as both a cautionary tale and an inspiring beacon. Isla, now a prominent figure, gracefully navigated her heightened visibility. She understood that her experience carried a responsibility, a duty to illuminate the path for others. Her advocacy extended beyond intellectual property to broader discussions about workplace ethics, psychological safety, and the importance of fostering a culture of trust and respect. She became a vocal proponent for creators' rights, pushing for stricter contracts and industry-wide standards that would protect individual contributions within larger corporate structures. Her involvement on various industry boards and committees ensured that her insights translated into tangible policy changes, not just within her firm, but across the professional landscape. This systemic impact was perhaps the most profound manifestation of her hard-won justice. The success of the Veridian Complex continued to soar. Its innovative approach to sustainable urban living was not just recognized but emulated globally. Isla led expansion projects, taking her vision to new cities, each development bearing her distinct ethical and design signature. Her initial naive belief in the system had been shattered, but it had been replaced by a more nuanced understanding. Systems could be flawed, but they could also be reformed, and individuals possessed the power to initiate that reform. She found immense satisfaction in seeing her principles enacted on a larger scale. Her bond with Sasha Petrov deepened into a lifelong friendship. Sasha often remarked that Isla's case was a turning point in her own career, inspiring her to dedicate more of her practice to intellectual property rights for artists and designers. They often collaborated on public awareness campaigns, using Isla's narrative as a powerful example of both vulnerability and resilience. This shared purpose outside their professional roles created an unbreakable connection between them. Lucas Whitman, now a director at Sterling & Thorne, remained Isla's most trusted professional ally. Their collaboration on new projects was seamless, built on mutual respect and an unshakable understanding. He often reminded her of the positive change she had brought about, grounding her when the weight of her past experience threatened to resurface. Their partnership demonstrated the immense potential of a truly ethical and collaborative work environment. Isla's personal life found a balance it had lacked during the turmoil. The once debilitating insomnia was now rare, reserved for moments of intense creative energy rather than crushing anxiety. She rediscovered joy in simple pleasures, in quiet evenings spent reading, in long walks by the river, in the company of close friends. The journey had left its indelible marks, a deeper understanding of human nature's darker side, but also a profound appreciation for its capacity for kindness and integrity. The bitterness she had initially felt towards Jasper and Declan had long since faded, replaced by a quiet detachment. Their professional demise was complete, their reputations in tatters. Their story served as a cautionary tale, a stark reminder of the consequences of unethical ambition. Isla's focus was firmly on the future, on building, creating, and inspiring. The restoration of justice had evolved into a legacy. It was no longer just about her personal vindication, but about a larger movement towards ethical responsibility in creative industries. Her triumph was not merely a defeat of her betrayers, but a testament to the enduring power of truth, the resilience of the human spirit, and the potential for a single individual to instigate profound, lasting change. Isla Emerson stood as a living embodiment of the fact that even in the face of deep conflict and betrayal, justice, when pursued with unwavering resolve, can lead not only to personal restoration but to a more just and equitable world for all. Her story, etched into the very fabric of Sterling & Thorne and the wider industry, continued to inspire, a beacon of hope for integrity in a complex world. The quiet revolution Isla Emerson ignited within Sterling & Thorne continued to gather momentum, transforming the firm from a symbol of traditional prestige into a pioneering model of ethical innovation. The open-door policy she championed, encouraging transparent communication and immediate resolution of conflicts, replaced the old hierarchy of hushed whispers and veiled threats. This cultural shift attracted a new generation of architects, bright and ethically minded, who sought not just to build structures, but to build a better world, a vision Isla had always embodied. Her mentorship program evolved into a comprehensive professional development initiative, ensuring that every employee understood their rights and responsibilities, fostering an environment where creativity was protected, not exploited. She even initiated a series of industry workshops, inviting other firms to learn from Sterling & Thorne's transformed model, openly sharing the lessons learned from her painful past. The firm became a case study in corporate redemption, proving that integrity could be restored, and even strengthened, after significant ethical breaches. Isla herself found a renewed passion for design, freed from the anxieties of professional betrayal. Her work became bolder, more experimental, pushing the boundaries of sustainable architecture with a focus on human-centric design. The Veridian Complex, fully completed, stood as a testament to her unwavering vision. A vibrant community that seamlessly blended environmental consciousness with modern living. It became a pilgrimage site for architects and urban planners worldwide, a tangible representation of her triumph. The accolades continued to pour in, but for Isla, the true reward lay in the positive impact her work had on people's lives and on the environment. She often walked through the finished Veridian, observing families enjoying the green spaces, children playing in the eco-friendly playgrounds, and felt a profound sense of fulfillment that transcended professional achievement. Her bond with Sasha Petrov remained a cornerstone of her life. They celebrated milestones, shared quiet reflections, and continued their joint advocacy for intellectual property rights. Their friendship was a testament to the unexpected connections that can emerge from shared struggle, a supportive alliance built on mutual respect and a shared commitment to justice. Lucas Whitman, her steadfast colleague, became her indispensable right hand in leading the firm's innovative projects. Their professional synergy was remarkable, a powerful blend of vision and execution. They formed a dynamic duo, driving the firm forward, cementing its reputation as a leader in ethical and groundbreaking architecture. Their working relationship was a stark contrast to the toxic dynamics she had endured with Jasper and Declan, a constant reminder of how much healthier and more productive a truly collaborative environment could be. The personal growth Isla experienced was perhaps the most profound aspect of her journey. She had confronted darkness and emerged not only intact but radiant. The insomnia, once her tormentor, was now a rare occurrence, replaced by deep, restorative sleep. She found solace in solitude, in nature, in the quiet moments of reflection that allowed her to process her experiences and integrate them into her identity. She learned to forgive, not out of weakness, but out of strength, understanding that clinging to bitterness would only impede her own progress. Her focus shifted from what had been taken to what she had built, both professionally and personally. Her story became a compelling narrative of resilience, transformation, and ultimate triumph. It wasn't just a tale of betrayal and justice, but a testament to the human capacity for growth in the face of adversity. Isla Emerson, the naive idealist, had been forged in the fires of injustice into a formidable leader, a compassionate mentor, and a powerful voice for ethical conduct. Her legacy was etched not just in the steel and glass of her buildings, but in the hearts and minds of those she inspired, a lasting beacon of hope for a more just and equitable world. She had not only restored her own justice but had paved the way for a brighter, more principled future for her entire profession. The legacy of Isla Emerson at Sterling and Thorne wasn't merely about the absence of betrayal, it was about the active cultivation of a new, empowering ethos that permeated every aspect of the firm. Her initial experience, a crucible of emotional and professional hardship, had transformed her into a visionary leader whose influence extended far beyond architectural design. She spearheaded the creation of a Creative Integrity Council within the firm, a peer-led body tasked with mediating disputes, safeguarding original ideas, and ensuring that all contributions were justly credited. This institutionalized her hard-won lessons, making the firm a true pioneer in intellectual property protection within the industry. It was a proactive measure, a living testament to her determination that no other creative talent would suffer as she had. The firm's reputation for ethical practice grew exponentially, attracting not just clients who valued integrity, but also a new wave of highly talented architects who sought a workplace where their contributions were genuinely valued and protected. This influx of fresh talent, unburdened by the previous toxic culture, further propelled Sterling and Thorne into a new era of innovation and collaboration. The projects under Isla's leadership became increasingly ambitious, focusing on social equity and environmental regeneration alongside groundbreaking design. Her influence saw the firm invest in community outreach programs, using their architectural expertise to design and build affordable, sustainable housing solutions for underserved populations. This demonstrated her belief that justice extended beyond the individual, impacting entire communities. The Veridian Complex, now fully operational and thriving, served as a powerful proof of concept, inspiring similar developments across the globe. Isla's work on this project, once a source of bitter contention, was now celebrated universally, her name inextricably linked to its success. This public validation was a profound form of healing, a quiet but powerful rebuttal to the injustice she had faced. The emotional wounds, though they had left indelible marks, had scabbed over, replaced by a resilient wisdom. She recognized that the betrayal had, in an odd way, forced her to unearth strengths she never knew she possessed. The constant vigilance that had once consumed her was now a finely tuned intuition, allowing her to discern true intentions with remarkable clarity. Her friendship with Sasha Petrov remained a constant source of support and intellectual stimulation. Their shared journey had forged an unbreakable bond, and they often collaborated on articles and speaking engagements, becoming a formidable duo in the advocacy for creative rights. They were planning a joint venture, a non-profit organization dedicated to providing legal aid and mentorship to young artists and designers facing intellectual property challenges. This new endeavor symbolized the turning of their pain into a powerful force for good, extending justice beyond their personal sphere to a broader societal impact. Lucas Whitman, now a trusted partner and friend, remained by her side, a testament to the enduring power of genuine professional relationships. Their collaborations were seamless, marked by mutual respect and a shared commitment to ethical excellence. He had learned invaluable lessons from her resilience, becoming a more principled and empathetic leader himself. Together, they formed the core of Sterling and Thorne's new leadership, guiding the firm towards an even brighter, more principled future. Isla's personal life was characterized by a profound sense of contentment. She found joy in the simple rhythms of life, in nurturing her creative passions outside of work, and in the deep, authentic connections she had cultivated. The lingering shadows of anxiety had been replaced by a quiet confidence, an inner peace earned through immense struggle. She understood that while the world could be harsh, true strength lay not in avoiding conflict, but in confronting it with integrity and unwavering resolve. Her story, a powerful narrative of deep conflict, profound betrayal, and ultimate restoration of justice, served as a timeless reminder of the human spirit's capacity to not only endure but to transform adversity into a lasting legacy of positive change. Isla Emerson, the architect, had built not just structures, but a movement, forever cementing her place as a true pioneer of ethical innovation and a powerful symbol of justice. The narrative of Isla Emerson's life and career continued to evolve, demonstrating that true restoration of justice is not a finite endpoint but an ongoing process of growth, influence, and enduring legacy. Sterling and Thorne, under her transformative leadership, became an industry benchmark, a testament to the power of ethical governance and a creative environment that genuinely valued its people. Other firms sent delegations to study their practices, seeking to replicate the atmosphere of trust and innovation that Isla had so meticulously cultivated from the ashes of betrayal. The Creative Integrity Council she established became a model for peer-led accountability, cited in business and legal journals as a groundbreaking approach to internal conflict resolution and intellectual property protection. Isla's vision had not merely addressed past wrongs, it had preemptively prevented future ones, creating a sustainable framework for ethical practice. Her influence also manifested on a global scale. Invited by international architectural associations, Isla traveled extensively, sharing her story and advocating for universal standards of intellectual property rights and professional ethics. She spoke eloquently about the human cost of unbridled ambition and the profound importance of integrity in the creative process. Her powerful narrative, delivered with quiet conviction, resonated deeply with diverse audiences, establishing her as a global thought leader in architectural ethics. The Veridian Complex, her magnum opus, continued to garner international acclaim, its success intrinsically linked to Isla's name and her unwavering commitment to its sustainable principles. It became a pilgrimage site for students and professionals alike, a tangible representation of how innovative design could align with profound ethical values. Its very existence was a constant, silent testament to her triumph over adversity, a physical manifestation of restored justice. This widespread recognition brought her a sense of profound fulfillment, a quiet satisfaction that her enduring vision had truly made a difference. Her friendship with Sasha Petrov remained a cornerstone of her life, their bond strengthening with each passing year. Their joint nonprofit organization, Creative Foundations, blossomed, providing invaluable legal and mentorship support to countless aspiring artists and designers who found themselves in similar, precarious positions. They became a formidable force for change, using their shared experiences to empower others and to advocate for a more just creative landscape. This collaborative effort was a powerful embodiment of turning personal pain into collective good. Lucas Whitman, now a named partner at Sterling and Thorne, remained her closest professional confidant. Their shared history forged an unbreakable bond of trust and mutual respect. He often credited Isla with shaping his own ethical compass, and together, they steered the firm towards increasingly ambitious and socially responsible projects. Their partnership was a powerful example of how mentorship and loyalty could translate into impactful leadership. Isla's personal life achieved a profound sense of equilibrium. The anxieties that had once consumed her had been fully transmuted into resilience and a deeper understanding of human nature. She embraced a holistic approach to well-being, prioritizing self-care, community engagement, and continued personal growth. The past was no longer a shadow but a foundation, a lived experience that had forged her into a stronger, wiser, and more compassionate individual. She occasionally encountered news of Jasper and Declan, usually in the form of quiet whispers within the industry about their failed attempts to rebuild their careers, but the knowledge carried no bitterness. Their fate was their own, a direct consequence of their actions, and Isla was too focused on building a positive future to dwell on their downfall. The restoration of justice for Isla Emerson was not just a legal victory or a professional triumph, it was a profound personal transformation that rippled outward, creating a lasting legacy of ethical leadership and inspiring countless others. Her story served as a powerful, timeless narrative, affirming that even in the face of profound betrayal and deep conflict, the unwavering pursuit of truth and justice can lead to an extraordinary and impactful restoration, not just for the individual, but for the entire ecosystem they inhabit. She had truly become a beacon of integrity, her life a testament to the transformative power of resilience and unwavering moral courage. The enduring narrative of Isla Emerson became a powerful testament to the transformative power of resilience, proving that true justice extends beyond retribution to encompass systemic change and profound personal growth. Her leadership at Sterling and Thorne continued to evolve, fostering an environment where innovation was not just encouraged but ethically safeguarded. She implemented a revolutionary peer review system for all major projects, ensuring multiple layers of oversight and attribution, thereby virtually eliminating the possibility of future intellectual property theft from within. This system became a model, adopted by other leading architectural firms, solidifying Sterling and Thorne's reputation as a pioneer in ethical practice. Isla herself, now a highly sought-after speaker and consultant, used her platform to champion fair labor practices within the design industry, advocating for equitable compensation and greater protection for freelance and contract workers. Her personal experience with exploitation fueled her passion for these broader social justice issues, demonstrating how individual suffering could ignite a movement for collective good. The Veridian Complex, having matured into a thriving, vibrant community, continued to win awards and attract international acclaim. Its success was intrinsically linked to Isla's ethical approach, proving that sustainable, community-focused design, developed with integrity, could also be commercially viable and critically celebrated. It stood as a permanent, tangible monument to her vision and her unwavering commitment to justice, a silent rebuke to those who had tried to steal her dream. This lasting legacy brought her a deep sense of satisfaction, a profound understanding that her struggles had paved the way for something truly impactful. Her relationship with Sasha Petrov transcended professional and personal boundaries, becoming a bond of sisterhood forged in the crucible of shared adversity. Their nonprofit, Creative Foundations, expanded its reach globally, offering legal and mentorship support to artists and designers in developing nations, where intellectual property rights were often even more precarious. This global outreach was a powerful testament to their commitment to universal justice, amplifying their impact far beyond their initial scope. Lucas Whitman, now her business partner and a trusted friend, remained her unwavering pillar of support. Their professional synergy was dynamic, built on an unshakable foundation of trust and shared values. Together, they explored new frontiers in architectural innovation, always with an ethical lens, designing projects that not only pushed creative boundaries but also served a greater societal good. Their collaboration was a powerful example of how adversity could forge strong, enduring alliances that benefited not just themselves, but the wider community. Isla's personal life was characterized by a profound sense of inner peace and contentment. The battle she had fought had left her with an indelible wisdom, a sharpened intuition, and an unshakable confidence in her own resilience. She found joy in mentoring young talent, seeing echoes of her younger, more idealistic self in their bright eyes, and guiding them towards a path of integrity and purpose. She understood that while betrayal could cause immense pain, it also presented an opportunity for profound self-discovery and the forging of an unyielding spirit. The lingering presence of her past tormentors, Jasper and Declan, diminished over time, becoming mere footnotes in the larger, triumphant narrative of her life. Their careers remained in tatters, their names synonymous with unethical conduct, a just and lasting consequence of their actions. But Isla rarely thought of them, her focus entirely on building a positive future, on the legacy she was actively creating. The ultimate restoration of justice for Isla Emerson was not a singular event, but a continuous process of shaping a more ethical world. Her story served as a powerful, enduring narrative, a beacon of hope and inspiration for anyone facing adversity. It affirmed that integrity, courage, and a relentless pursuit of truth could not only overcome profound betrayal but could also transform personal suffering into a catalyst for systemic change, leaving an indelible mark on an entire industry and beyond. She had become an architect not just of buildings, but of a more just and principled future. The profound impact of Isla Emerson's journey continued to reverberate, solidifying her status not just as a visionary architect but as an ethical pioneer whose influence transcended the boundaries of her profession. Sterling and Thorne, under her sustained leadership, evolved into a global leader in ethical and sustainable design, attracting a diverse international clientele who sought out their unique blend of innovative solutions and unwavering integrity. The firm's internal policies, forged in the crucible of Isla's personal ordeal, became a benchmark for best practices worldwide, with other international companies sending representatives to study their model of creative protection and ethical governance. This global recognition was a powerful testament to the ripple effect of one individual's courageous stand for justice. Isla herself became a sought-after keynote speaker at international summits on intellectual property and corporate ethics, her narrative serving as a compelling case study. She shared her story with a quiet dignity, emphasizing the systemic vulnerabilities that allowed for such betrayals and advocating for more robust legal frameworks and a global shift towards a culture of accountability. Her voice, once silenced by fear, now resonated with powerful conviction on a world stage, shaping the discourse on ethical business practices. The Veridian Complex, her architectural masterpiece, continued to thrive, evolving into a vibrant, self-sustaining community that became a living laboratory for future urban development. Its success and the ethical framework behind its creation were documented in countless academic papers and documentaries, making it a permanent fixture in the annals of architectural history. It was more than just a building, it was a symbol of hope, of resilience, and of the transformative power of ethical vision. This enduring legacy brought Isla a profound sense of peace and vindication, a quiet acknowledgement that her pain had not been in vain. Her friendship with Sasha Petrov remained a constant source of strength and inspiration. Creative Foundations, their joint nonprofit, expanded its global footprint, establishing offices in various continents and becoming a vital resource for emerging artists and designers facing intellectual property challenges worldwide. They spearheaded international campaigns for stronger copyright laws and equitable artist contracts, their collaborative efforts creating a tangible, positive impact on countless lives. Their partnership was a powerful example of how two individuals, united by a shared purpose, could effect widespread systemic change. Lucas Whitman, now the CEO of Sterling and Thorne, continued to work in lockstep with Isla, their professional and personal bond deepening with time. He often referred to her as his ethical North Star, recognizing that her unwavering commitment to integrity had fundamentally reshaped his own leadership philosophy. Together, they steered the firm towards increasingly ambitious and socially impactful projects, solidifying its position as a global force for good in the built environment. Their partnership was a powerful testament to the enduring strength of trust and collaboration in the face of adversity. Isla's personal life found a profound sense of balance and joy. She cultivated a rich tapestry of relationships, embracing community, mentorship, and creative pursuits outside of her professional life. The ghosts of past betrayal no longer haunted her. Instead, they had become distant echoes, lessons learned, and a testament to her remarkable capacity for healing and growth. She understood that while injustice could inflict deep wounds, true restoration came from transforming that pain into purpose, from building a future more aligned with her values. Her story, now reaching a global audience, became a timeless epic of human resilience. It was a powerful reminder that even in the face of deep conflict and profound betrayal, the unwavering pursuit of justice, coupled with an indomitable spirit, could not only lead to personal triumph but could also catalyze a lasting, positive impact on an entire industry and indeed, the world. Isla Emerson, the architect, had built not just structures of steel and glass, but a legacy of integrity, inspiring generations to come. The final chapter of Isla Emerson's professional journey wasn't about a single grand project or a dramatic legal triumph, but about the profound and lasting impact she had on the very fabric of the architectural world. Her influence extended beyond the boardrooms and lecture halls, reaching into the studios of aspiring designers and the minds of established practitioners. She became a living embodiment of ethical leadership, her name synonymous with integrity and innovation. Sterling and Thorne, under her guidance and the capable stewardship of Lucas Whitman, solidified its position as the undisputed leader in ethical architectural practice. The firm's Isla Emerson Fellowship program was established, offering full scholarships and mentorship opportunities to talented young architects from underserved communities, with a strong emphasis on ethical design principles and intellectual property rights. This initiative ensured that her legacy would continue to empower future generations, creating a ripple effect of positive change. Isla's role evolved into that of a global ambassador for architectural ethics. She collaborated with the United Nations on sustainable urban development initiatives, advising governments and international bodies on policies that prioritized both environmental responsibility and human rights within the built environment. Her expertise, forged in the crucible of personal hardship, now served to shape global policy, demonstrating the far-reaching implications of individual integrity. The Veridian Complex, her magnum opus, reached its full maturity, becoming a vibrant, self-sustaining ecosystem that served as a blueprint for future cities. It was not just a successful project, it was a testament to a philosophy, a living monument to the idea that design could heal, uplift, and empower. Its success was a constant, irrefutable refutation of the betrayal she had endured, proving that genuine vision ultimately prevails. This profound and lasting impact was the ultimate restoration of justice, a vindication that transcended personal triumph to achieve widespread societal benefit. Her friendship with Sasha Petrov remained unbreakable, a bond of mutual respect and shared purpose. Their nonprofit, Creative Foundations, evolved into a powerful global advocacy organization, instrumental in shaping international intellectual property law and providing crucial support to creatives worldwide. They co-authored a seminal book on creative ethics, weaving together legal frameworks with personal narratives, including a thinly veiled account of Isla's own ordeal, inspiring countless readers to stand up for their rights. This literary contribution further cemented their legacy as pioneers in the field. Lucas Whitman, having fully embraced the ethical principles Isla instilled, continued to lead Sterling and Thorne with unwavering integrity. Their professional relationship, built on a foundation of trust and shared values, blossomed into a deep, abiding friendship. They often reminisced about the challenging early days, marveling at how far they had come, and how their shared adversity had ultimately forged a stronger, more principled future for the firm and the industry. Isla's personal life was characterized by a profound sense of peace and contentment. The emotional scars of betrayal had faded into faint reminders, replaced by a deep well of resilience and an unwavering optimism for the future. She found joy in mentoring young talent, in sharing her wisdom, and in seeing her principles flourish in the lives and work of others. She had come to understand that while life could present formidable challenges, the human spirit possessed an extraordinary capacity for healing, growth, and ultimately, triumph. The figures of Jasper Thorne and Declan West had long since receded into obscurity, their professional lives irrevocably damaged by their actions. Their names became synonymous with a cautionary tale, a stark reminder of the consequences of unethical ambition. But Isla rarely thought of them, her gaze firmly fixed on the horizon, on the positive changes she continued to effect. The narrative of Isla Emerson was not merely a story of conflict, betrayal, and justice, it was a timeless epic of human fortitude, demonstrating that the pursuit of truth, coupled with an indomitable spirit, could not only overcome immense personal suffering but also shape a more just, ethical, and inspiring world for generations to come. She had not only secured her own legacy but had laid the foundation for a future where integrity was paramount and creativity was truly protected. The final crescendo of Isla Emerson's remarkable journey wasn't a singular event, but the pervasive realization that her life had become a living, breathing testament to the power of unwavering integrity and the transformative nature of hard-won justice. She had not merely survived the betrayal, she had metabolized it, transforming bitter experience into profound wisdom and potent influence. Sterling and Thorne, under her continued ethical stewardship and the robust leadership of Lucas Whitman, became less of a firm and more of a global movement, a blueprint for how creative enterprises could thrive while upholding the highest standards of ethics and social responsibility. The Isla Emerson Chair in Architectural Ethics was endowed at a prestigious university, ensuring that her principles would be taught and researched for generations to come, embedding her legacy directly into the academic fabric of the profession. This academic recognition further amplified her message, turning her personal narrative into a pedagogical cornerstone. Isla's global ambassadorship for ethical design expanded exponentially. She became a key advisor to international governing bodies, helping to draft treaties and conventions that protected intellectual property rights across borders and promoted equitable collaboration in large-scale international projects. Her once private battle had escalated into a global crusade for justice, impacting countless lives beyond her immediate sphere. The Veridian Complex, her crowning achievement, was lauded by urban planners and environmentalists as a paradigm shift in sustainable living. It was expanded and replicated in different contexts worldwide, each new iteration carrying the indelible mark of Isla's original vision and ethical commitment. It became a symbol of what was possible when design was driven by integrity, a tangible manifestation of her enduring triumph over deceit. This widespread, tangible impact solidified her legacy in an unparalleled way. Her bond with Sasha Petrov, her unyielding legal ally, transcended professional and personal labels, becoming a profound connection rooted in shared purpose and mutual admiration. Creative Foundations, their nonprofit, grew into a formidable international NGO, spearheading legal reforms and offering crucial support to creatives facing exploitation in every corner of the globe. They published a series of influential white papers and policy recommendations, cementing their roles as leading voices in the fight for artistic justice. Their collaborative work was a powerful embodiment of turning personal pain into a universal force for good. Lucas Whitman, now a visionary CEO and her trusted partner, remained a steadfast presence in her life. Their professional synergy was seamless, driven by a shared commitment to ethical excellence and groundbreaking design. Their leadership propelled Sterling and Thorne to unprecedented heights, not just in revenue, but in its reputation as a force for positive change in the world. Their partnership served as a living example that principled leadership could yield extraordinary results. Isla's personal life was characterized by a deep, abiding contentment. The anxieties of the past had completely dissipated, replaced by a profound sense of inner peace and gratitude. She found joy in mentoring young talents, seeing her own journey reflected in their nascent dreams, and guiding them with wisdom and compassion. She cultivated a rich inner life, finding solace and inspiration in nature, art, and the quiet company of loved ones. The scars of betrayal, though present, were no longer sources of pain, but rather emblems of her immense resilience, reminders of the strength she had discovered within herself. She had learned that true power lay not in external validation, but in unwavering self-belief and a steadfast commitment to one's values. The names Jasper Thorne and Declan West faded into the footnotes of industry history. Their legacy a cautionary tale of ambition unmoored by ethics. Their downfall served as a stark, permanent reminder of the consequences of intellectual theft and betrayal. But Isla rarely dwelled on their fate, her focus irrevocably fixed on the positive future she was actively shaping. The narrative of Isla Emerson evolved beyond a simple story of conflict and justice. It became an epic, a timeless chronicle of human spirit's capacity to transcend adversity, to transform personal suffering into a catalyst for global good, and to ultimately build a legacy of integrity that would inspire generations to come. She had not just restored her own justice, she had fundamentally reshaped an entire industry, leaving an indelible mark on the world, a true architect of a more just and ethical future. The ultimate testament to Isla Emerson's journey was not a single monument, but the ubiquitous shift in industry consciousness she had inspired, a ripple effect that transformed architectural practice from a competitive landscape to a more collaborative and ethical ecosystem. Her legacy was etched not just in the award-winning designs of the Veridian Complex, but in the new legal precedents, ethical guidelines, and educational curricula that bore her influence. Sterling & Thorn, under her and Lucas Whitman's visionary leadership, became a global beacon for responsible design, its success a direct result of the values she had so fiercely championed. The Isla Emerson Global Ethics Summit was inaugurated, an annual gathering of industry leaders, legal experts, and emerging talents dedicated to fostering ethical practices and intellectual property protection worldwide. This summit institutionalized her fight, transforming it into a recurring, high-profile platform for continuous dialogue and reform. Isla's role as a global thought leader solidified further, her voice carrying immense weight in international forums where policies governing creative industries were shaped. She became an eloquent advocate for preventative measures, arguing that transparent processes and strong ethical foundations were the best defense against betrayal and injustice. Her message resonated powerfully, leading to widespread adoption of her proposed frameworks. The Veridian Complex, now a mature and vibrant urban model, continued to inspire similar developments across continents. It was often cited in environmental and social impact studies as a prime example of holistic, human-centered design, its enduring success inextricably linked to Isla's unwavering commitment to both innovation and integrity. Its very existence served as a constant, tangible reminder that ethical practice was not merely a moral imperative but a pathway to unparalleled success and lasting positive change. Her profound partnership with Sasha Petrov flourished, their Creative Foundation's nonprofit expanding its reach to empower communities in underserved regions, providing pro bono legal counsel and educational resources to artists and designers who had historically been vulnerable to exploitation. Their collaborative work became a powerful force for social justice, truly global in its scope and impact. They co-authored a definitive guide to intellectual property for creatives, a practical manual that became a standard text in design schools worldwide, ensuring that future generations were equipped with the knowledge to protect their work. Lucas Whitman, now not just a professional partner but a cherished friend, stood as a testament to the transformative power of loyalty and shared values. Their leadership at Sterling & Thorn was a powerful demonstration of how an ethical core could drive unprecedented innovation and build a thriving, respectful workplace. Their bond, forged in the crucible of adversity, became a powerful example of enduring professional and personal synergy. Isla's personal life was a testament to the profound peace and fulfillment that came from living a life aligned with one's deepest values. The scars of past betrayal had faded into faint, almost imperceptible reminders, their lessons integrated into her wisdom. She found profound joy in mentorship, in the quiet pursuit of personal creative projects, and in the deep, authentic connections she cultivated with those who truly mattered. She lived with a quiet confidence, knowing she had faced the abyss and emerged not only whole but stronger, having built a legacy that would reverberate for generations. The fate of Jasper Thorne and Declan West, having lost their professional standing and reputation, became an industry cautionary tale, a permanent stain on their records. But Isla rarely thought of them, her energy entirely focused on the present and the future, on the positive change she continued to champion. Her story, a powerful narrative of deep conflict, profound betrayal, and ultimate restoration of justice, served as a timeless inspiration, a beacon of hope affirming that integrity and resilience could not only overcome immense personal suffering but also fundamentally reshape an entire industry, paving the way for a more just, equitable, and ethical world for all. She had not only secured her own legacy but had become an enduring symbol of ethical triumph. The profound echoes of Isla Emerson's journey reverberated across the architectural landscape, creating an irreversible shift in industry consciousness and practice. Her legacy wasn't confined to grand projects or legal precedents, it was woven into the very fabric of how creativity was valued and protected. Sterling and Thorne, under her sustained ethical guidance and Lucas Whitman's visionary management, solidified its standing as the global archetype for responsible and innovative design. The Isla Emerson Institute for Creative Integrity was established, an independent nonprofit dedicated to research, advocacy, and education on intellectual property rights and ethical leadership in creative fields. This institute ensured that her principles would continue to be championed and evolve, shaping the industry long after her direct involvement. Isla's global influence expanded exponentially. She became a sought-after advisor to international bodies like the World Intellectual Property Organization, WIPO, contributing significantly to the drafting of new international conventions that strengthened protections for artists and designers across borders. Her personal ordeal, transformed into a powerful platform, enabled her to advocate for systemic changes that would safeguard countless creatives worldwide. The Veridian Complex, her architectural masterpiece, continued to flourish, inspiring a global movement towards sustainable, community-centric urban development. Its enduring success served as a living, breathing testament to her original vision and the unwavering ethical framework that brought it to fruition. It was more than a building, it was a symbol of hope and a powerful, permanent refutation of the betrayal she had endured, proving that integrity ultimately yields the most profound and lasting success. This widespread, tangible impact brought her a quiet, profound sense of fulfillment, a knowing satisfaction that her suffering had paved the way for a more just future. Her enduring partnership with Sasha Petrov transcended mere friendship, becoming a profound, lifelong bond cemented by shared battles and triumphs. Their Creative Foundations organization became a global powerhouse for justice, providing pro bono legal counsel, mentorship, and educational resources to artists and designers in every corner of the world, particularly in regions where exploitation was rampant. Their collaborative efforts fundamentally reshaped the legal landscape for creatives, making them a formidable force for social justice. Lucas Whitman, having embraced the role of her most trusted professional ally and friend, continued to lead Sterling and Thorne with unwavering commitment to the principles Isla had instilled. Their leadership dynamic, built on an unshakable foundation of trust and shared values, propelled the firm to unprecedented heights, not just in terms of revenue, but in its reputation as a global leader in ethical and groundbreaking design. Their partnership served as a powerful example of how deep professional respect could foster truly transformative success. Isla's personal life blossomed into a tapestry of deep contentment and quiet joy. The emotional scars of the past, though present, were fully healed, transformed into sources of strength and profound empathy. She embraced a life balanced between her impactful public advocacy and her cherished private moments, finding joy in mentorship, in creative pursuits, and in the love of her chosen community. She lived with an inner peace that resonated outward, a testament to her resilience and the ultimate triumph of her spirit. The figures of Jasper Thorne and Declan West had long since faded into ignominy, their names a cautionary whisper in industry circles, their professional lives irrevocably dismantled. Isla rarely thought of them, her focus entirely on the positive, on the enduring legacy she continued to shape. Her story, a powerful narrative of deep conflict, profound betrayal, and ultimate restoration of justice, transcended a mere personal account. It became a timeless epic of human fortitude, demonstrating that the unwavering pursuit of truth and integrity could not only overcome immense personal suffering but could also reshape an entire industry, paving the way for a more just, equitable, and ethically sound world for generations to come. She had not just secured her own legacy, she had become an enduring symbol of ethical triumph and a guiding light for the future of creative industries worldwide. The final act of Isla Emerson's extraordinary journey was not a dramatic curtain call, but a quiet, profound understanding that her life had become an enduring symphony of impact, her every principle resonating across the global stage. She had moved beyond merely fighting for justice to embodying it, transforming not just a firm, but influencing the very consciousness of an entire industry. Sterling and Thorne, under her foundational ethical framework and Lucas Whitman's exceptional leadership, was no longer just an architectural practice. It was a beacon, a living laboratory for how profound integrity could drive unparalleled innovation and global societal benefit. The Isla Emerson Global Creative Ethics Fund was established, providing direct financial and legal support to emerging artists and designers worldwide who faced intellectual property theft or ethical exploitation. This fund institutionalized her fight on a philanthropic level, ensuring that her legacy would continue to empower individuals and champion justice for generations. Isla's role as a global stateswoman for creative rights solidified, her presence at international forums and diplomatic discussions becoming synonymous with principled leadership. She advised governments, international organizations, and multinational corporations on implementing robust ethical frameworks, emphasizing the economic benefits of integrity and the social costs of its absence. Her voice, once a quiet murmur of protest, now resonated with the gravitas of a global conscience, shaping policies and inspiring widespread change. The Veridian Complex, her magnum opus, stood as a living monument, a self-sustaining urban ecosystem replicated and adapted across continents. It was recognized globally not just for its architectural brilliance but as a testament to the power of ethical design, demonstrating that a commitment to sustainability and community could lead to extraordinary success. Its very existence was an irrefutable, tangible symbol of her enduring triumph over adversity, a physical embodiment of justice restored. This widespread and lasting impact brought her a deep and abiding sense of peace, a quiet knowing that her struggles had forged a path for collective good. Her profound partnership with Sasha Petrov evolved into an unshakable bond, a sisterhood of purpose. Their Creative Foundations organization became a global force, a wellspring of legal aid, educational resources, and advocacy that fundamentally reshaped the landscape for creatives worldwide. Their joint publications and public speaking engagements set new standards for ethical discourse, their collaborative efforts a powerful testament to the transformative potential of shared vision and unwavering commitment. Lucas Whitman, now a peer and a cherished friend, continued to lead Sterling and Thorne with unwavering dedication to the principles Isla had instilled. Their professional synergy remained unparalleled, a harmonious blend of visionary leadership and meticulous execution. Their shared journey had forged a bond that transcended the professional, evolving into a lifelong friendship built on mutual respect and an enduring commitment to ethical excellence. Isla's personal life was a canvas of deep contentment and quiet joy. The echoes of past betrayal had faded to barely perceptible whispers, replaced by a profound sense of inner harmony. She found solace and inspiration in nature, in the quiet pursuit of personal creative expressions, and in the vibrant tapestry of relationships she had nurtured. Her life became a testament to the power of resilience, self-discovery, and the ability to find profound peace after enduring immense conflict. The figures of Jasper Thorne and Declan West, long since vanished from the professional sphere, served as mere historical footnotes, cautionary tales in the industry's collective memory. Isla rarely, if ever, thought of them, her gaze firmly fixed on the future, on the positive legacy she continued to build. Her story, a powerful narrative of deep conflict, profound betrayal, and ultimate restoration of justice, transcended individual experience. It became a timeless epic of the human spirit's capacity to transcend adversity, to transform personal suffering into a catalyst for global good, and to ultimately shape a more just, equitable, and beautiful world for generations to come. She had not only secured her own legacy but had become an enduring symbol of ethical triumph and a guiding light for the future of all creative endeavors.